Coming to you live from a man cave in the village of Blowing Rock, North Carolina. We are raw as hell, baby. Unapologetic, unfiltered sports talk for diehard fans. Wherever you may be and however you may be listening to us, thank you for making us part of your day. We greatly appreciate it. Stalls, Clark, E-Rob, and you, ladies and gentlemen. If you like our take, if you agree with us, let us know. If you disagree, let us know. If you got a different take, post it. If it's hot enough, we'll bring it on the air. We'll read it. We'll chop it up. We will absolutely chop it up about your take. But be a part of the show. We welcome that.
Absolutely.
I'm with my boys. How you doing, man?
Wonderful, baby.
Doing good?
Wonderful.
You sure?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna see.
I'm ready to get it on.
I know. I'm gonna see.
I know he got some stuff in his chest.
Oh, you know he does.
So I'm ready to see him. I'm ready to see what he.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Just get out there.
How you doing,
So I'm
man?
happy to be back, man.
Hey, man.
I'm happy to be back in the bunker. We're back. We live.
I know.
YouTube, we're here.
I know you got a reason to
I
smile.
got some stuff to talk about.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying?
two more games, baby. I know you got a reason to smile.
Championship.
All right, gentlemen, I'm gonna ask you a simple question, and then and with that, we're gonna get into this show. Clark, air it out, baby.
I want to talk about the Falcons. I want to talk about the Falcons. And I want to talk about the Falcons.
All right, yeah.
What you want to air it out on?
That's
me?
what I'm talking about. All right, so the NFL's back. So I want to air it out this way. I want to talk about after 3 games. It's early. I want to know who's the front runner in the MVP race, because I think that we have a couple of lead horses. I just kind of want to hear what you guys have to contribute to that. And who do you think maybe is a dark horse that maybe we're not seeing right now, but maybe could come up and make some noise
Right on.
in the MVP race in the NFL? We do want to talk about some Major League Baseball, some playoff baseball. My Atlanta Braves.
Bravos.
I am such a fan of this Braves team. The way they win, the way they play, the way they've gone through adversity, and come out on the other side of it, and they just play an exciting brand of baseball. So I'm happy to see that back in Atlanta. So I definitely want to talk about
19
that.
years, man.
A long time for us to win a playoff series. But anyway, so the last thing I want to talk about the NBA. I'm a Lakers fan, like my man was talking about here. We're 2 games away from winning that coveted championship in the bubble.
Yeah,
And I'm just gonna leave it at that. So I've aired it out. I got some stuff to talk about. I got some stuff to get off my chest. We haven't done this in a while. Air it out.
Football. I want to talk some football.
Right on.
I want to talk some basketball, and I want to specifically talk COVID-19.
Okay.
That being said, we got breaking news, gentlemen. ESPN has just reported that Patriots quarterback Cam Newton has tested positive for COVID-19.
Wow.
And he is out for Sunday's game against the Kansas City Chiefs. I didn't really think, going in, I didn't think that this Patriots team could had a chance against that high-powered Chiefs team this week. But now, without Newton, I really think, if you got to turn to Hoyer or Jarrett Stidham going against that KC team, you in trouble.
Where are they playing? Where's that game? Is it in KC? I don't know if that's going to matter at all. That's the Patriots only.
If they're in Foxborough.
If they're in Foxborough, then Belichick dials up some crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? When you're talking about crazy game, you make it real ugly, and it's whatever.
You're right.
But they're not winning without Cam Newton.
I don't think
That's
so.
all you're trying to
There is
say.
no
Period,
chance.
right?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't think anybody else does.
What's your thoughts on this game? And more specifically, what are your thoughts on, what do you guys think so far? We've already had our first cancellation. The Steelers and the
Titans.
and the Titans game has been postponed as a result of numerous players from the
11,
Tennessee Titans, like 11 combination of players and front office and staff members have tested positive for COVID-19. And now the NFL is being asked to juggle the schedule. So here we go with that first domino. Here comes COVID, stepping in and throwing a monkey wrench into the plans. And now here comes that first juggling act that the NFL has to do as far as this virus is concerned. What's your thought on trying to play And you can hit on anyone you want. You can hit on the Patriots. You can hit on this Tennessee Steelers game or COVID-19 in general. What's your thoughts so far as it relates to this virus and what it's doing to the National Football League and pro sports? Because as we've often talked about, the only thing that seems to work is the bubble.
Is that bubble.
That's the only thing that seems to work. Put players in a bubble. Don't let anyone in or out of your bubble, and you can keep the virus out.
But the last time we were on there, we talked about that. Just the sheer numbers of players in the NFL. Like, how would you do that? Are we talking multiple bubbles? Are we talking one major bubble? The logistics of it is just it's so big and so huge. I just don't know if that's feasible. I don't know.
I told you.
The NBA let you know it was feasible. Is your argument that there's just less players in the NBA? That's
I mean, the
what you're
size
away
of
with?
there's 15 guys.
Absolutely.
But once you seal off an area, a big ass resort like they have in
But that's
Disney
15
World.
guys per team.
Okay,
Right.
so you're talking what, 80, 100? What's a staff of football? You got 52 players.
Let's say 80.
80 people.
Let's say
Yeah. Okay. If everybody's concentrated and tested constantly like the NBA did in an area, and they're not leaving and you're not visiting and that kind of thing.
So you playing all your games in one location?
With the breaking news with Cam Newton catching this stuff, man, it's
Yeah.
really scary, right? Unfortunately, the cynical person in me says, if I'm an owner, what's really scary is I'm about to lose a lot of money because a well-known player in our league has tested positive. I'm really disappointed from the fact of I was really looking forward to watching these two guys go at it
Agreed.
on Sunday night.
Absolutely.
But here's the other side of that, E. This is just the first little case.
Right.
Like, who knows? Our president has it, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just say it. The point is, the point is, it's out here.
The point is,
That I'm just saying it's a big deal.
I know it's about to go off the rails as soon as you bring it up.
I'm about to, my head is about to explode. Go ahead.
I know. Anyway,
I don't know what the NFL does, man, because this is not an isolated incident.
I
And
don't
as
think
much
so
as they
either.
try to put wraps on whatever they do, we talked about it on the golf course, E. I was like, do you think, I asked you point blank, do you think they're going to start a season? What do you think? And he goes, oh, I think they'll start. Now, whether or not how far
How
they
they
go
finish, right.
is
I
what you
disagree.
said.
I disagree with that.
And so that's what I want to know. So how do they make it work?
That was prior to the season. Oh,
Okay.
they're going to finish the season. They're going to make this work.
They have to, now that the NFL has started,
They're gonna make
there
it
is
work.
no stopping.
They're going to make
You
COVID-19
have to
is the
stop.
new injury, man.
You have to cross the finish line at this point.
Right.
Now that
they're
they've
going to
started,
finish.
you got to cross the finish line.
Exactly. So that's what we were talking about on the golf course. I didn't know prior to the season. Now that I see that it started, they're going to finish the season. They're going
You
to
have
find
to.
a way.
There are people have been looking to knock the NFL off that pedestal it's been sitting on for decades.
So do you think this is isolated?
And if they stop, if this virus brings them to a close, that'll be what everybody
Man, shut down our
wants to see.
national economy. What makes you think it won't shut down the NFL? In a heartbeat, that shit will shut down.
They're gonna finish this season.
They're going to
Okay.
finish the season.
They have to cross the finish line. They can't stop.
Okay.
Yeah.
At what point do you think that decision is no longer feasible then? So obviously you don't shut it down for Cam Newton. Okay, fine. At what point do you shut it down? Because that's going to be the question that I'm digging at.
I gave you all a solution when we talked about this in our last show.
The bubble?
No, I think you split the roster. Want me to go over it again?
Yeah,
I'll be
yeah,
happy
that's
to.
right. Yeah.
I think you
Yeah.
split the roster. All right, so this time I kind of threw it out at you guys, but I didn't really document. I didn't outline. I want you to see it.
All right.
So when I'm talking about splitting the roster, what I'm talking about is literally you have your first team offense. Your first team offense. So you got your first team, right? Your first team offense literally gets all of the snaps, the game snaps, the game.
I do remember you saying that.
snaps during the week. All right.
Yep.
Now we're gonna use the Falcons as an example.
All right.
We're gonna split this roster. I'm gonna take my first team and I'm gonna take my second team. I can tell you personally, there's nothing going on at Mercedes-Benz Stadium during the week.
Period.
There's no soccer. There's no high school.
They do
football,
have
there's
some
nothing
drones.
going on there.
They're spraying lights all everywhere.
Now, your first
Didn't do
team,
that.
your first team. Listen to me. Don't go off. Don't go off on a different.
I'm with
Don't
you.
go down another road on me yet. Your first team is practicing at Flowery Branch.
Right.
Okay, they are getting ready for that game. They're at the branch.
Right.
Put FB right there. Your second team is preparing as if they were the first team, as if they were being called up to play in a game. They are practicing at Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Sure.
MBS. My third, I carry 3 quarterbacks on my roster. My third string quarterback, I quarantine
He's at the
him.
house.
I don't even let him near the facility. There is no way that I
He's a
put him,
designated survivor.
there is no way that I put him in
All right,
risk
man,
of
I'm with
catching
you.
COVID-19.
Right.
My first team is practicing at the branch. My second team is practicing as if they were going to play at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. My number 3 guy, if someone goes down, instantly becomes my number 2. And what happens is, if I get a positive test on someone on my first team during that week, now my second team guy has been preparing to play a game. He's had the game plan, he's had the offensive and defensive game plans installed. He is ready to step into that first team unit and ready to play at a moment's notice.
I think all that is a great idea, but the only problem I see is when you take the guy from the second team
Yeah.
and he comes to the first team, well, the dude that
Drop
was
off
on the
the
first
blade.
team, no, the dude that was already on the first team caught it in the same locker room. So all you're doing is bringing these guys into the fold.
You still test it. You still have to
Everybody
test all of these
says,
guys, and I do know for a fact they're doing that on a regular basis.
Okay.
The NFL spending $700 million to test everybody associated with. This year, they're spending $700 million to test everyone associated with the NFL football.
How much?
That's
How much
every
money? 700 million?
$750 million.
Holy sh-
That's every cameraman. That's every game day worker. I take a test every week.
Seriously.
I take a test every week.
Wow.
That's every game day worker. I can tell you with 100% certainty I don't have COVID because I get tested every week. That's every cameraman. It's every game day worker. It's every reporter. It's every player. It's every staff member. It's every coach. Anybody associated with football. The reason I'm telling you all,
That's how I know
they gonna cross the finish line. The reason I'm telling you that they're gonna cross the finish line is because I know firsthand what they're putting into making this work. They are serious about crossing this finish line. They are not gonna cook that cash cow.
I really.
Come on.
I mean,
Ain't never been silent
I
before.
know. Wait.
I'm trying to process it all, man, because I think, so there's a money argument, not cook the cash cow.
absolutely.
Okay, so there's a greed argument, and then there's okay, then right to life, and at a certain point, there's going to be too many people that catch this. Yes or no? That's the question.
Too many.
And as far as I know, all that you went over sounds good, but as far as I know, that's not in place.
But if you're spending that 700 million, then you're gonna minimize that. I mean, as much as possible. Because if you're testing regularly, you find this one dude, you get him out, you keep testing everybody else, you're weeding them out as best you can.
So then I can process it in my mind and say COVID-19 is the new NFL or sports-related injury.
Now you can look at it that way.
That's kind of how I got to look at it.
Yeah.
Because if you're saying they're going to finish,
They're gonna-
then that means nothing's going to stop them, and that means this is real. And it ain't just going to be Cam Newton that catches this. That's all I'm saying. We're at the tip of the iceberg, I believe, but okay.
You know what you're asking guys to do? And this is what I think the biggest challenge is. In all honesty. I think you can control them when they're at the facility. You can put them in a bubble when they're at the facility. You can control their movements. What you're asking is 20, 21, 22, 23-year-old young men to act responsibly when they are away from the facility.
Yeah, good luck.
And it's not just them. It's not just them, it's their families. For example, they could do everything that they're supposed to do. They could
With your
leave the
daughter,
facility,
your son.
go home. They could leave the facility, go
Yeah.
home, and stay home. They could order Uber Eats. They don't have to go anywhere. What if a family member comes over that's been at Magic City?
Yep.
This is what I've been
Then
trying
he
to say.
comes into the house, he brings COVID-19 into that player's house, and that player gets it.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be them, man. It's everybody.
Right.
It's everybody.
Right.
So we're just going to have to learn how to deal with it, like you laid out on your plan.
I love this. I think this should be the standard mode of operation for all teams because,
There's a lot more jobs for people.
well, it's a lot more reps for people. And so
That too.
these guys right here are going to be
Absolutely.
developing like a mug
No
because
doubt.
they're playing against NFL players. Because usually
No doubt.
these second team, they're just standing
They're
around
playing
chilling.
against they're your scout team.
Right, they're not. Exactly.
Hey, you're
Now they're getting reps in our system, learning, what our game plan, what we're doing.
Anyway. You need to be
You know what I'm
developing.
saying? Like, this will be great in terms of
Real
shit, just
in-house
how we
farm
do.
system.
Yes.
You need to be developing motherfuckers anyway.
Exactly.
You're right.
So, real quick,
But that's just more interaction, by the way.
Man, I mean, this interaction sport ain't no getting around.
So that was what I was asking.
it's interesting.
This is
You
just
gotta do all those
this is
things
just the
outside.
new normal, or do we do something about
I mean, we're just.
that's the
It's the
question.
new norm for now. I think we
We're
will
6
get to
months
a
in.
point.
Yeah.
We're 6 months. We're not even a year in.
How we
Originally when
go
COVID
to
came out, they
that?
said it was what 18 to 24 months.
Yeah.
Or 12 to 18
Right,
months, something like
right.
that. We're 6 months in and we're rushing like
Right,
hell
that's
to try
what
to
6
create
months in
that.
talking about it ain't gonna never go. I mean, Jesus.
I think
It's
it-
6 months.
We're gonna get by this, guys. We
Yeah,
survived
let's just
everything
relax.
else. We're gonna get through this one.
But regardless, the NFL is not canceling. You say
No.
okay?
No, they're gonna cross the finish line, brother.
But and you do all this while you spend that 700 million. I didn't know 700. I thought you were saying that wrong. I thought maybe 70 million.
No.
Damn. That's how they for sure they're gonna finish.
They're gonna cross the finish line, my dude.
And that's what you have to do. That's what I was saying in the previous shows. You just have to do everything that you can because it is our normal for now. And all you can do is what you can do. But don't be going around talking about something. Don't worry about it. We all catch it. That's bullshit. Do what you can do.
Yeah, don't
Now.
be reckless. I mean, that's the same thing as like how you treated AIDS. Don't be reckless sexually, because you just can catch it. I agree with all of that. You shouldn't recklessly do anything. But you're asking 330 million Americans to get that. And that's just not realistic, I don't think.
No, we're not asking 330 because I'm one that you ain't got to convince to do that. So there are
Okay,
like me.
so you were already asking, you did it. That's fine. You can take that approach.
You
But
have to
there are
ask
people
me
who are-
anything. I'm looking at. I'm gonna take the data in. You have to ask me, and
I
then
was
I'm gonna make a decision
I was
for
being-
myself.
That's fine. And that's the beauty of America. We can make those decisions for ourselves. And so I'm in agreement that if the NFL wants to operate, let them operate. You, as a consumer, do not have to get involved from a 6 feet separation standpoint. And as long as that's the key, I do think they'll keep it open. Unless, let's just say somebody, God forbid, like Cam Newton,
Mahomes.
just
You
whoever.
talking about the face
No,
of
no,
the league?
hold on, hear me out. Passes away from him, bro.
But that was my thing the whole time.
Would that stop the
And I-
NFL?
Somebody dies? No.
Okay.
People die every day.
It depends on who that person.
Okay, now.
People
See,
die every day.
come on now. Talk to me.
It's gonna
because-
shut down the league. Come on, man.
Yeah, they gonna shut it down.
No, they won't shut down the league.
Yes, they
They
will.
won't.
Look, this is an interesting topic. Let's wrap this up. Let's get our advertisers to pay some bills, and we'll come back and we're gonna continue this right here because I think they will shut the NFL down. It depends on who it is. Not for a second team cornerback.
They're not gonna close down here. They're not gonna shut down here.
Okay, well then when we come back, we'll finish that.
All right. Stay with us.